Okay, so we're going to get into a bit of a review demonstration now. So thanks everyone for joining us this morning, and we'll get through our demonstration on construction. So I'm going to be using Review 2019 for this. Just a bit of a rough agenda there. So we're just going to go through some simple markup tools, show a bit of a RFI workflow on how we can deal with RFIs and how we can make that easily part of our documentation. We'll go into hyperlinks and put images in as well. I'll also touch on how sequences work. So I'll show you how that we can have our RFIs numbered throughout. And I'll also go through a bit of Studio Project and how that works. We'll have some time for questions at the end. So if people do want to ask questions, please sort of raise your hand. We do have a Q&A as well. So as questions come up through the presentation, please feel free to use the Q&A and I will address them at the end. About us, so we're a company which fosters innovation through software and hardware solutions. We also do consulting, training, development, and managed services. So we've got a lot of staff that's in the AEC, infrastructure and manufacturing sectors. So we're people that have worked in the real world as well. We're not just techs that have been advising people for a while. So we have a lot of real world experience. About myself, I'm a structural engineering associate diploma. I've got over 25 years of industry experience. I've worked at a lot of tier 1, mid-tier and smaller consultancies. So I've done everything from working on Metro Martin Place to simple portal frames and residential sort of 4-story residential towers plus smaller townhouses and normal residential development as well. I'm a certified Bluebeam trainer, certified Autodesk Revit professional, speak and present in the BIM industry. I've been using Bluebeam since 2014. Feel free to look me up on LinkedIn. I have worked at Arup, Worley, Northrop, SMEC, and a lot of other consultancies. About Bluebeam, so Bluebeam was founded in 2002. It has 1.6 million users around the globe, and it's utilized in over 130 countries. One of the things I do like to point out is it's got over 22 billion collaborative transactions. And it is the only real-time PDF-based collaboration solution. So that's using the studio aspect of Bluebeam. Bluebeam allows you to complete projects faster and more effectively, reduce your travel, shipping and printing costs, and also reduce liability. So you can have the link to the materials and that in there, have it all linked through. No one can say that they haven't read a specification because you can embed that all into your PDF. So this is just the basic interface here, which we will get into when we show Bluebeam. So you've got your menu bar at the top, a properties toolbar as well, panel access where you can then open the panels from. You have your markup lists and navigation bars as well. You can customize your interface accordingly to suit yourself. Just a bit of the power of the PDF. So you can reduce your costs as explained. You can minimize your risks by having that, like the document comparison, have all the same like tracking of all those markups. It contains all the metadata as well. So it's not just a pretty picture. It's got the drawings in there. You can have the specifications. You can have images, file attachments. You can hyperlink to sites as well. And you can harness the 3D data from 3D PDFs. So now we'll get into actually Bluebeam and do the demonstration itself. So this is Review 2019. I've got my file access here. So I've got my panel access there. And as I open these up, it opens the panel up and I can see what I've got in through here. So what I'm going to do is actually go into a studio project. So to go into studio, I can just select this icon, go into my construction project. And So Studio Project is the cloud management data center. So I've got in here a bit of a comparison. So I'll just open up this document. So Studio comprises of both sessions and projects. Now, a Studio project is the cloud management center. So that is where we can have all that information up and get all that. I have up there all your specifications, drawings, images, all in that one. Where a studio session is the live collaboration. Yep, so I'll let that churn away. I will actually open up our drawing as well. So I've got an architectural set of drawings here. So just by double clicking, I can open them up on the cloud. So this is our full architectural set of the drawings here. If I go through my thumbnails on the left, I can go through and see that I've got the different plans. Going down to the elevations, and I can use this thumbnail, which I can expand the size of as well to really go through all those drawings and see what I've got in there. I can see that they've all got a scale assigned as well. So when I go onto any of these, I can do a measurement and I can straight away get those distances off. So just by checking that 2794, this one's got a couple of viewports on it already. So I can calibrate that to the particular wall section here. So I can see this section is set up, measure that across, and I can get my 2565 measurement, which matches the drawing. So this one I can see it's got a couple of different view boxes set up, which all happen to be the same scale. And that is where we can have different scales set on the same drawing to get those measurements off. If I go to my first plan, what I have done on this is I have placed some RFIs and I've also placed some site defects. So I can see all these have a bit of a lightning bolt on them. So this means that I've basically hyperlinked an image of this area here. So I can place a simple call out or a simple item, go through my lightning bolt link here, and that will open up directly an image that's associated with this. Which will be coming up any second. Just make sure. So I've got all the images here in my studio project. So I've got my specification, RFIs, images, and the actual drawing files. The good thing about a studio project is that I can actually, this is based on the cloud. So anywhere I have internet access, I can access these drawings. If I go in through the settings here, I can actually restrict different users and give permissions. So I can see in here, I've got a total of 41 files, 5 folders. If I go through the users, I just have myself in this at the moment. I can invite new people by going through here and putting in a new email address. I can also decide to unrestrict the users as well, which will make this link available to anyone who I send that number out to. The permissions in here, I can set my attendees to deny all the permissions just so they can read the files, but they won't be able to obviously share links or revoke checkouts, etc. I can do the same with the different folders as well. So where I have the construction folder and drawings, I could allow people to put more images in there or RFIs, etc. So if I double click on those, I can see straight away it's linked into my images. So I've got a site defect there. I've got another one here. And as I click on these, it is taking a second to download them. And I get those site faults coming up. So it's a great tool to use for inspections where you can take the photos and actually link them straight to the document. So I've got these photos hosted on the cloud. So as I link each one, it's hyperlinked through and it will open up the defect at that point. I also have some RFIs in here as well. So if I click on one of these again, that will open up a form where I have that information stored. So it does have to download the sheet, which does take a little bit of time. I won't open this in a split view. And that is my RFI. So I can see here, this is all just a simple form through Bluebeam. So I can change my name, change the name of who it's from, change who it's to, give it an appropriate RFI number. And in here, I've got the ability to make notes on that. You can also put a snapshot in quite easily. So with this, I could delete that. I can come back to my document here and I could take an area of this roof hatch. So I can just take a simple screenshot of that. Then I can go back to my RFI and I can simply paste that onto this sheet. So that then gives us the ability to point to an actual location on the drawing. Coming from here as well, I can get that reference straight off. So if I go to the drawing number here, I can use my select text, grab that drawing number out, and then again, just simply paste that back into the drawing number. I can apply a signature as well. So if I did want to sort of certify this drawing so it wouldn't be changed, I can actually apply a signature. So if I go here, I do have a digital ID and that signature will apply. And I can actually put a reason in there that I am attesting to the accuracy and integrity of this document and apply that signature. This will save that file. Obviously, once it's saved, it's part of that file and it's got in there, it's got my name and my digital signature. I've also embedded a 3D file into here. So we've actually got a 3D file in there of our model. And again, this model, you can get the data straight out of this. So that wall, for instance, if I go to my properties here, it's actually picking up what that is. So it's picking up that it's an opening, it's an interior opening, it's based on the first floor, and I'm getting all that metadata straight out of that wall panel. I can do the same thing on a column or a window as such. If I pick that window, I'm getting all that metadata out. I'm getting the area, that it's clear glazing, I'm getting out that it's the storefront on first floor, and even the sizes. So it's a great way to have all that information in the model itself. You can also do sections in a 3D PDF. So just by applying that, I can do a section and I can drag that up and down through the building. I can also change the, flip how that will appear. So I've sort of now got the cross section through there. Now, if I click into the empty space, you'll see I've got a cross section of that item. So it's quite a good way to have that embedded 3D PDF. If I go back to our drawing file, I do have all this hyperlinked as well and bookmarked. So if I go to my front cover sheet, for instance, you can see I've got all these sheets bookmarked. So that allows me to go straight to our interior elevations just by selecting that. And that will take us straight to that interior elevations. So it's good to have all those bookmarks applied where you can simply just jump around to the different sheets. You can use them as well for sections. So on this second drawing, this plan here, I do have the sections bookmarked as well. So if I click on that 5-4, that will take me straight to this drawing where that section is on. I can also hyperlink those details themselves. So on this one here, I do have that section 8 hyperlinked. If I click on the 5-4, that will take me to the drawing itself. It won't take me to the exact section, which is the detail 8, which is this section here. If I hyperlink that through that drawing, I'll just go to the next sheet, which is this one. And if I actually click on the detail number itself, I have that hyperlinked, so that will take me directly to that detail. So you can do all that. That's a great way to work on site. It's quite easy to add markups to this detail. So we've got our simple text box. I can highlight, I can use a pen. We can do a call out. So I can do a call out of this here, which will put a circle on it, and then I can have that text coming off down the bottom. As I put each markup on, it does track how I'm doing those markups. So if I go through my markups list down the bottom here, it will show that markup. So I can see here, it's a Cloud Plus markup that I've put on, gives it the page label. It's got my comment there, and it's also got who made it and what time it was made. So that markup's all through there. So it is all hyperlinked. All these sections and details, they're all linked. So I can tell if it's linked by the blue dash. So that blue dash tells me that they're all linked. I've got a link there to the 3D views. Selecting on that takes me straight to the 3D views. Now the 3D views obviously took up a little bit more memory, so it did take a fraction of a second to take me to these views. But the links all work through there. So I am getting some questions on how to do the bookmarking. So it can be done automatically. You can put in the sheet size and it can grab those straight off. So you do need to go through bookmarks. At the end as well, I will point us to how we do Blue Burst training that we have coming up over the next month or so to go through all these features. So if I go to our second sheet, I've got our RFIs linked as we saw before. If I do want to put on a new RFI, I do have a tool set that I've made up here. So if I go through to my tool sets here, I'll see that I've got an RFI in this sequence here. So if I select that, straight away, it will give me the next number. So I can see I've got 5. I'm probably up to around 8, obviously. So I can point that 8 to there. And then what I can do is I can go through my construction project here, and I do have RFIs, and I've actually got a blank RFI here ready to go. So what I can do is I can copy that. So I can copy that RFI and start a new one and paste it into here. So this is pasting it straight into the cloud. So now that I've copied it, I can go in and edit the file. So again, just by double clicking, I can open that up. That was my copy there that it created. I'm using the original one. I can open it side by side, but I'll just open it by itself. And I have my blank RFI here. So I can put in today's date. And fill out all this form correctly. So it's getting there, it's giving me an error. It does have that form. So it's expecting a certain type of date. Again, I need to put in both years. So you can lock it down so that it does expect a proper form. Now this RFI, I believe I'm up to number 8. So I'll grab that number, put in a person who I want to send this RFI to from me. Then I can fill out all this form. And again, going back to my area here, I can easily grab a screenshot of the area I'm concerned with, go back to my RFI and paste that in. So it's a good way to be able to get that in there. I'll just shut down my markups list. So now I can paste in the different areas where it was, so I can put a reference in as well. This box here, this is actually for the 3D view. I can turn that off, so I can hide my hover bar. And again, put in my reference, grab my copy and paste out my sheet name, again, just by selecting the text and copying that off. And pasting that in. So it's a great way to easily have those RFI files straight away there. I just paste that in as a stamp. I can obviously paste that in as text as well. So that is the RFI system we use. If I do want to create a new sequence, it is quite easy to do. Again, I'm not really going to go too much into the how-tos. I'm going to keep this at a reasonably high level, but just to show that as a process. So I create a text box, get it to the rough size I want, go in through here to change all the features I want on that. So through the properties bar, so I can change my outline to a blue line. Can maybe make that a bit heavier. So I might make that 2 points instead. I can choose to fill it. I can change the shape as well if I want something circular, etc. I can change my font. So I might go through here and just use an Arial font. Change the size and maybe the font color as well. So I'll make that both blue. I might just always, it's a good idea to put in some dummy text. And that way you can just make sure how it's going to fit and look. So I can make sure there, RFI 100, that will fit nicely in the box there. Then I'll delete that text. I might double check the style and make sure I maybe have that center aligned, etc. And I can change it to a bold or do an underscore through there as per that. So now what I'll do is I'll just delete that text out. I will make it blue. Delete that text. And now what I can do is simply add that into my toolbox. So if I right click, add that to my tool chest, add it to my site tracking. That's the tool set I've got here. So add to tool chest, add it to site tracking, and I've now got this text box here. Now I didn't put on a subject. If I did want to put a subject in, I can again change that through the properties. So I can change the subject through the properties to a RFI. So I'll just do that again. I will make it maybe a site variation instead. And again, now that I've already got that in there, I can simply delete this one out of the toolbox and again, replace it from there. So if I check this one, go to the properties, it's a site variation, and now add that into my tool chest. So this is a good way to have that standardized. So you can set all these tool chests up. You can have it all. So everyone doesn't even need to think. They don't need to come back in here. If they go to do another text box, it's again defaulted back to my red and all that. But if they want to grab the one that we had before, so what I'm going to do now is right click on that and I can make that a sequence. So if I make that a sequence and define that sequence, I can change the style of this. I can have a prefix on there. So I'll just put there at the start for variance. And I might have a dash as a separator. I can change the start. So I might want to change all the numbers of these to maybe start at 20 with an increment of 1. And now when I go to place that that will straight away pick up the variance 20, variance 21, and I can pick the different items, different areas around my project that I want to place that variation. Now, all these, as we can see, they have that hyperlinked lightning bolt, which they use to select, and then that will open up the relevant image. So to do something like that as well, it is just a matter of selecting our item, right-clicking, and going to edit the action. And this is where you can then hyperlink it or get it to open a file. So I can get this to open, and I will do this with the RFI that I did before. So with this RFI 8, I can get that open, edit the action, and I can point this. So this is where we go into a bit more of that portability. So if I did want these RFIs to actually sit inside the architectural file itself, I could add the sheets to it. Or what I've done in this case is had it as a project. And that way I can just add it to the actual file itself, and I can get it to open my file from my project on Studio. If I point it through here, I can see I've got that directory here of my drawings. I can change the project as well if I did want it to point to another project, which I don't. And go in through here through my RFIs and point it to, I know I should have renamed it and put the dash at the, put an 8 on it and point it to that file. And now when I select that hyperlink, that will take me straight to this document, which is saved on the cloud. It's a great way to have that in there. And then you can have people reply to this document in the actual file itself. So when they open this file, they will get that link, which will take them straight to here, and then they can actually put in their response. So it won't shut it down. I can lock it down, but if I've given them permission to access the files, then they can put their response in. I can see through here, through the markups, if I've added that or if someone else has added that. And I've got all that information tracked through there. I'll just see, I did have a couple of questions coming out. Yep, so someone's asking just about making changes to the plan. So I can, this isn't a drafting software, so we can use it to draw sort of stuff like that, but you usually use CAD or Revit to make those changes. And this is actually just a PDF viewer. You can take snapshots and you can draw lines as well. So you've got all your draw features as well. So if I go through my tools and markup, I can do simple lines, arrows, etc. So it's a good way to do those snapshots as well. I'll just go on. I should be able to get to my construction, and I've got a comparison here. So this is a comparison that comes up between our studio session and projects. So studio sessions, again, they're the only real-time PDF-based collaboration solution where you can have many attendees in the one session. What we're using here is a project. You can tell the difference by the project has the square with the lines in it, for want of a better description. You can see there, that's the project. The session more has the whiteboard on it. We're not really going to explore sessions today, so we will just be exploring the projects. So with projects, the amount of people I can have in it, it is unlimited. So you can have this set up for all your people on site, end clients, builders, engineers, the architects, etc. They can all go into the project and access those files. The number of files you can have is unlimited. Any file format can be hosted up there. It doesn't just have to be PDF. I can host videos up there. I can host images, 3D Revit files, etc. Again, the size is unlimited. So these files can be like gigs each. The markups again is unlimited, and the space is unlimited. So it's a great way to get that cloud storage up there. all versions of Bluebeam have this accessible. So you don't need to have the CAD or the Extreme. Even Bluebeam Standard, Review Standard will have that. Attendee rights, as I showed before, you can manage them. So I can restrict the project to just people's who emails are in there, and I can also monitor who's in the session as well, or the project. I can view and restore the previous revisions of files. So if I did make changes to one of these drawings, I can actually put it in there as a revision, and then I can always go back to the old revision as well. You can set it up so that you will get notifications about your file and the user activity. But it's a good idea, particularly if you're a host, you can get a daily update of who's been in there, how many RFIs they've lodged, etc. And you can also track how those RFIs have been responded to. So you can make sure that you're cutting down your response time for those RFIs to like a day. And alerts as well, you can't put in alerts. Alerts are just in a session. And one of the big things that I like to point out is all attendees do not need a license of review. So those review files can be accessible to everyone. So there is nothing to stopping any of your subcontractors or contractors going through. They don't need a licensed copy of review. They will have full access through their email, and they will they will have to download review, and they will get the full access and the full usage of those files. So it's quite a good thing to point out. And that's because we don't want to restrict people. So if you have review, you need to feel free to be able to send those files out and for everyone to contribute. So to set up a project is quite easy as well. So I can come in under here, under the project, hit the little plus, and that will create a new project. When I do that, I can give it the name. So I'll just call that test. And once I've got that in there, again, it will take a couple of seconds just to process that. And I can see it'll give it the 9 code as well. So now I've got this test A2K project that's up here. It's given it the random code number. And then I can invite attendees. So if I come to my settings here, I can change the settings and permissions and the like, and I can use the little plus here to invite people. And that's where I can either copy the invitation or just add in my email addresses. I can also use my address book. So it's linked to my address book through there, which I won't show you all my address book emails. So I can link, that is linked to my Outlook as well to get those address books straight over. I do want to go through quickly a project handover dashboard. So it's quite a useful thing as like as a project handover. What you can do is set up a dashboard. So I'll open the one I've done recently. So I have a dashboard here. So this is a good way, and it makes it very user-friendly for people that haven't used Bluebeam before. So in here, I've got photos, information, drawings, specification, local council, the map of the area. So this is all for a building that I've handed over. I've got all my owner manuals as well. And what I've done is hyperlinked and edited the action of these. So if I click on the drawings, that is then hyperlinked and will take me to my project. So it's logging into my project there. And it's a good way of having this just for the people who don't use Bluebeam very often. It is very easy for them to navigate this. So they can open that. That takes them straight to the drawing files of their house. So they've got all their drawings through there stored. This again is all based on a cloud set. So it's very portable. Anyone with the internet access, as long as I'm connected here and working online, I can access those files. So I've got my architectural set there. If I go through, I've also got specifications. I can put in hyperlinks as well. So I have put this to hyperlink this to an external map. And I've got the map. Be aware, this is just some random spot in Cairns. This is not a real correct project. So I've got a link to a map there where it's basically taken me to Google Maps, and I could have that linked to a particular address. I've got my warranties in there as well. So I've got a link again on my project to these warranty terms, which I can open up, and I've got all that information set on this file. So it's got all my project warranty. So it's great for handover and like for your facilities managers, etc. I've also got a link there to a local council. So that will link it to the local council. So it is neither in Shepparton nor Cairns. So it's great to have all that information there, the specifications, etc. So the specifications, that will open up my specs. Yep. And I've got my specifications here as well. So these are all hosted on a project. So I can tell by that, and it's all this, whether I was on site or in the office, I can access these documents. So it's just showing you some of the features that you could use that make it all very accessible. Some people as well use these projects internally. So they have all their internal documents and all that through the cloud. And that way you can keep them up to date. You can access them from anywhere. It's all based on the cloud. I will open up for some Q&A now. There is the help here as well in Bluebeam. So the help here is quite useful. So if you go through the help, and you can actually access a lot of the tutorials. So a lot of the items I'm showing today, you can access through the tutorials. If you go to your markup tools through here, that will then take you to their website and different videos on how to use the markups. You can also access through that help. You can also access, through help, you've also got your training resources. So if you open this up, you have a lot of training videos. So this takes you straight to the Bluebeam website, and you've got a library of topics through here. You have your interface navigation, where you can go through your file access, and it will walk you through all these videos. So the help is quite good. I'll just review some questions. We got some through, so thanks for that. With bookmarking to a section and details, I'll just go through some of the other ones. I can show that quickly, how you can automatically do bookmarking. Yeah, so does Review Extreme support or help to draft CAD drawings? So Review Extreme and Review CAD, they work from Revit themselves. They have the add-ins, so Revit and CAD can then push out those drawings directly into Bluebeam drawings and as vector drawings. Yeah, so you do need to print them out as a DWF as a PDF. You can't just use a DWG file itself in Bluebeam. You do need to convert that into a PDF file. So when you have Bluebeam installed, you do get a Bluebeam driver where you can straight away print drawings out from your CAD packages. Keyboard shortcuts, someone's got a question there about customizing the shortcuts. You can't really customize them as such. We do have a keyboard shortcut guide, which gives you all the links. So that's just again through your help here, and you can get your default keyboard shortcuts. So that is all your keyboard shortcuts through there. If you go through, you've got all the shortcuts through here. You do get a bit more better at using them as you've sort of navigated through Bluebeam for a while. It becomes a lot more natural. You can customize them through here to click, add, and reassign different shortcuts if you had some that you used more often than others. So you can easily bring on images as well. So you can embed images. So if I went here to place an image, I can grab an image. I'll just grab this from my computer and grab an image from there and just bring that straight onto my drawing. And you can actually embed those images on the drawing. You can even do a couple at once. So if you use the image, went from your disk, I'll just grab the last 3 and open. And now I can place them in order. So I can place the first one here. The second one might be on, might be related to this area. And then I can place another one here. So that's a quick way, and it's just, you can see how it's grabbed those 3 files in the order that I've selected them and put them in. The light bulbs, do we see them only in Bluebeam? You will only see them in Bluebeam. Acrobat and Bluebeam are competitor products, so some of the things do not work well between Acrobat and Bluebeam. So I would have to test that. And again, I can always edit the action if I chose to through there. I will just take us to our Cloud A2K website. So, so if you go to our Cloud A2K website, we are doing a lot of sessions for Bluebeam. So we are a platinum partner of Bluebeam. So if you go in through our Bluebeam portal here, we are running some special offers at the moment. And I believe that we're going to launch a new one in the coming days. So if you go through our platinum, our Bluebeam link, and then I will speak a little bit about Review 20 as well, that's coming out. So in here, we also have our training. So our Blueburst training. So this is coming up where I'm going to do full training sessions for an hour, couple of hours at each time, where we do an introduction to Bluebeam, working with PDFs. We do a full one on markups for a couple of hours. We also do quantification and takeoffs, a studio where we explore further sessions, projects, and dashboards. We do document management, go through the dashboard and those handover packages, which I was showing as well. We do one on Java scripting, where you can sort of set in scripts to do a lot of the bulk processing, etc. And we also go around a lot of customization and how to do those deployments so that you can make sure you've got a company standard, which you can then push out to all the users. We have a session as well on design and drafting in Bluebeam. So I know I did get some drafting questions on that. I can show how we go through that, our sketch to scale, etc. So it's just a matter of registering for these through here, and please register. They're coming up. They're starting in September. So we have those classes coming up. We've also got a lot of other items for the training. So we've got rapid start, discovery workshops, etc., all available through our website. Review 20 is coming out. So I'll go to our events site. We are having a Review 20 webinar. So Review 20 is coming out. That launches tomorrow. I'm doing the webinar on the 20th to explore what's new in webinar. There is some very big news to come out with Review 20. So it's going to be a game changer for a lot of people that have been waiting for this change for quite a while. I can't mention it yet until it comes out tomorrow. So we're doing a webinar on that. So please jump on that and register for this webinar. And this is a good place to go for any of the events we do. So I'll just close this out now. I'll just check my Q&A again. So what platforms can use Bluebeam? Yes, Bluebeam's available on Mac. They have discontinued the support for Mac. They're more pushing into the performance. So it's generally desktops, laptops. It does work on tablets as well. So is usable on a lot of the platforms. I was going to go back to my PowerPoint. So I'll just exit with this. I'm aware of everyone's time, so I will try and finish this off reasonably quickly. So we are your Bluebeam provider. We are a platinum partner with Bluebeam. We do discovery workshops where we can come in and actually see what your company, where we can make improvements, where we can save you that time reviewing and commenting, increase your efficiency with standardization, and reduce your liability. We can reduce the time spent on manual processes and errors and get all that through there. We do a rapid start too. So if your company is just looking at getting Bluebeam and getting started on it, we can come in and give you a rapid start where we can set that up for you and get you going quite quickly. Offer standardization as well, where we can set in a lot of those different toolbars. It's all about really maximizing your PDF productivity. We do the Blue Burst, we do the training as well, where we do like a 1.5 to 2 hour session, which will just be spent on a couple of the workflows. So we really explore them and make sure that everyone becomes an advanced user quite quickly. We do make manuals as well, and standard manuals for different companies. I have reviewed most of the questions, so I will probably close it out there. So I'd like to thank you all for attending. So please feel free to contact us on that number or at that email address, or visit our website, cloud-a2k.com. I would like to again thank you all for attending. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll see you at some training soon or in a future webinar. Thanks a lot for your time.